Anna didn't understand it. He made her laugh. He listened. He remembered the little things. So why did it always feel like she was one step away from losing him? One week, he was texting her good morning. The next, he was too busy to talk. He told her he wasn't good at relationships, but he never quite let her go either. Was she being patient with someone who just needed time, or stuck in something that was never going to grow? She thought she knew the answer, until she made one decision that changed everything. This isn't a story about fixing an avoidant man. It's about finally seeing your own worth, clearly enough to stop settling for someone who can't meet you there. This is Anna's story. It started off light. Anna wasn't looking for anything serious. Not really. She'd just gotten out of something confusing and told herself she was in her casual era. Then she met David. Funny, smart, thoughtful. He didn't try too hard, and somehow that made her want him more. On their first date, he made a joke about being terrible at relationships. She laughed, but later that night, lying in bed, she replayed it in her head. Terrible at relationships? Was that a red flag? Or just honesty? He texted her the next morning, sent her a voice note that made her laugh at her desk. He showed up, until he didn't. One weekend, he brought her pastries from that cafe she once mentioned. The next, he went totally quiet. No explanation, just drifted. And then, just when she started to let go, he'd pop back in with a fine. Hey, you crossed my mind. Or a late night, I miss your face. Always just enough to stir things back up. Anna told herself to be patient. He's been hurt. He's probably scared. He just needs a little more time. That may be true, but she started noticing something else. Every time she got close, he pulled away. And every time she backed off, he came chasing. There was a pattern, a rhythm. And when she saw it, she couldn't unsee it. This wasn't just bad timing. This was something else. The real question wasn't, why is he like this? It was, why am I still here? Waiting to be chosen by someone who keeps holding the door half open. It was the night she thought everything was finally changing. They'd spent hours talking on her couch. Not just flirting or joking, really talking. About childhood stuff, regrets, what they were afraid of. David even admitted, sometimes I sabotage things before they get too real. Anna's heart cracked open a little more. She thought, okay, he's letting me in. This is progress. So when she asked him to come to her sister's birthday brunch that weekend, she didn't think it was a big deal. They'd been seeing each other for almost 4 months. It wasn't a proposal, just brunch. He hesitated, then gave her that small apologetic smile and said, that's just not where I'm at. She laughed it off in the moment, said no worries. But the air shifted. The next day, no text. Day after that, nothing. By day 3, she was pacing her apartment, checking her phone like it had betrayed her. Her brain did what it always did, rationalized. Maybe he's just overwhelmed. Maybe she pushed too hard. Maybe she's the one who messed this up. But then, in a rare moment of clarity, another thought broke through. Why am I bending myself in knots to stay close to someone who never fully steps in? It wasn't about one brunch. It was about every excuse, every little breadcrumb that kept her hanging on. That night, Anna didn't cry. She sat quietly, phone face down, and asked herself a question she hadn't dared ask before. What if I stop waiting for him to be ready and start choosing myself instead? Anna didn't send a dramatic text. She didn't block him or unfollow or make a big speech. She just shifted. It started with a boundary. I really like you, but I'm not looking for something halfway. He read it, said he understood, and then, true to form, pulled back again. But this time she didn't chase. She booked a solo trip, signed up for a pottery class she'd been putting off, let her friend set her up with someone new, just to remind herself what it felt like to be pursued without confusion. She stopped analyzing David's silences, stopped twisting herself into someone easier to love. And slowly, something surprising happened. She felt free, not because she stopped caring, but because she started caring about herself more. He still reached out sometimes, casual, flirty, like nothing had changed. But Anna didn't jump anymore. Sometimes she answered, sometimes she didn't. And she never rearranged her life for him. This wasn't about punishing him. It wasn't revenge. It was clarity. For once, Anna wasn't waiting, not for the good morning text, not for the invite, not for him to finally choose her, because she had already chosen herself, and that changed everything. It didn't happen all at once. First, it was a, "Hey, been thinking about you," then a voice note, then a, "What are you up to this weekend?" David started showing up again, but different, more available, more curious. He asked about her day, offered to cook dinner. He even mentioned the possibility of eventually meeting her friends. Old Anna would have lit up, cleared her calendar, started hoping again. But this Anna paused. She noticed the effort, but also the gaps. He was still vague about the future, still dodged anything that sounded like commitment. Only now, he was saying it with better packaging. One night, after dinner, he leaned in close and whispered, "I've missed you. I want to try." It would have been so easy to fall back in, to pretend this was finally the moment she'd been waiting for. But Anna had changed. She looked at him and said gently, "I care about you. I always have. But I'm not available for half love. You don't have to be perfect. But I need consistency, not just moments." He blinked, didn't know what to say, and Anna didn't rush to fill the silence. She wasn't angry. She wasn't begging. She was clear. This wasn't a test for him. It was a reflection of who she'd become. And she realized whether he stepped up or stepped away, she'd be okay. Because her life no longer hinged on his maybe. David didn't disappear. Not completely. He still sent the occasional check-in, still lingered in her social media views, still existed on the edge of her world, just enough to stay visible, but never enough to step fully in. But Anna didn't wait anymore. She didn't stalk his profile, wondering what he meant by a vague caption. She didn't draft unsent texts, trying to find the perfect words to make him get it. She had her answer. Not from what he said, but from what he consistently didn't do. And honestly, that was enough. She stopped needing closure in the way she used to, like it was something he owed her, because she realized that peace doesn't come from someone finally explaining why they couldn't love you the way you deserved. Peace comes when you decide to stop shrinking for someone who only ever offered you a fraction. And Anna had stopped shrinking. She was dating, creating, laughing more. Not because she'd moved on, but because she'd moved in to her own life. One afternoon, as she left a sunny coffee date with someone new, her phone buzzed. A message from David. "Hey, I just saw something that reminded me of you." She smiled, not because she wanted him back, but because she finally didn't need him to be anything more than what he was. She slipped her phone in her bag and kept walking, sunlight on her face, no heaviness in her heart. Because the story wasn't about him anymore, it was about her. Here's the truth. You can love someone deeply and still decide they're not healthy for your heart. You can care without chasing. You can miss them and still choose you. Anna didn't walk away because she stopped loving David. She walked away because she finally started loving herself more. That's the part no one tells you. Letting go of an avoidant man doesn't always look like a dramatic breakup. Sometimes it's just a quiet shift. When you stop waiting, stop twisting, stop proving you're easy enough to love. Avoidant men don't usually disappear. They hover. They reach out just enough to stay on your mind, but never enough to give you absolute peace. And if you're not careful, you'll spend months or years trapped in that gray space, half in, half out. But you don't have to live there. You don't have to be angry or cold. You don't have to cut them off to stay strong. That's what Anna did. She didn't punish him. She just got honest with him and with herself. Because giving someone space is healthy, but waiting for them to finally show up, that's just self-abandonment in disguise. So, if you're wondering what to do with a man who keeps you guessing, start with this. You deserve more than half love, and you never, ever have to earn what's already yours. But those are my thoughts. What do you think? Have you dated an avoidant man? How did you handle it? Tell me what happened in the comments.